Vic Fangio said Nakobe Dean will remain the starting Mike linebacker. He didn't mince words. He is the starter no matter what happens with Devin White. We're going to talk about the Eagles. We're going to talk about the press conferences from Vic Fangio, Kellen Moore, maybe a little Phillies talk, trending in the AM Live, taking your thoughts and opinions in 60 seconds. And a very good morning, everybody. Welcome to Trending in the AM right here on Edge of Philly Sports. We are live, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. You know what you're doing. Whether you're watching on any platform, hit those buttons. Like, share, subscribe, follow, retweet. You do what you got to do to get the word out, to get as many people as possible interactive and finding this show, the number one sports morning show in Philadelphia, the only one where your opinions actually matter. And that's what this show is all about, your opinions. I bring up the topics. You tell me what you think. That's what we talk about. I'm Phil Stiefel. You can see my name and my social media handle at Bearded Knowledge right there. And how I want a Logan Ross spinoff. If you know, you know. Guys, we got lots to talk about today. Eagles related. Obviously, the Phillies completed a sweep of the Tampa Bay Rays yesterday. That is on the docket as well. Vic Fangio spoke to the media. Kellen Moore spoke with the media. We got a lot of detail, as always, from Vic Fangio. We got a little bit of nothing from Kellen Moore, but lots to talk about there as well. As we get set to start thinking about week 2, as we get set, there's Thursday night football tonight. As we get set for this, first practice since returning from Brazil for the Eagles today. So there's lots to discuss. There's lots to get into. This was a comment from last night. Good job by Fangio. Dean earned his spot and is the better player. We're going to get a lot into this, Vic Fangio's style of management, because he talked a lot of positive and negative about a lot of players on the defense. Vic Fangio doesn't pull any punches. Vic Fangio says it as it is, says it like it is. And I love it. I, for one, find it very refreshing to find a coach in the NFL like Vic Fangio that does things, and he doesn't give us any cliche. He doesn't dance around. Devin White might be available this week. Well, we'll see how the week plays out. We had some good practice today. Full transparency from Vic Fangio. Nakobe Dean has earned the right to be the starter, and he is the starter. So my question is that the right decision? I think it's a no-brainer. If you don't agree with Nakobe Dean going forward as the starter, then I don't know what to tell you. He's clearly earned the job. He clearly performed well enough. I know the PFF grades don't necessarily show it, but he earned the right to be the starter there going forward. More comments. A moment to praise Philadelphia organizations, the evaluation of catchers. The Ramos Garcia, 4th string catcher. Is he the 4th string, 5th string, 6th string? I'm not sure. Making a clutch throw out there late in the game. That's not what caught my eye. What caught my eye, Nick Castellanos. What caught my eye, Zach Wheeler. Zach Wheeler just, damn. He pitches the last couple years in Philadelphia kind of similarly as elite as Doc Holliday did in his first 2 years here. He doesn't get talked about. I mean, he is just pure dominance every time he steps out on the mound. He probably won't win the Cy Young, Zach Wheeler, but it's a lot closer of a call than people realize. Chooch, Levy, Boone, Parrish, Dalton. Yeah, backups, Kratz, Mr. Turkey Bacon, Kratz. What was the other guy after him? Well, you had Chris Coast. You had a lot of Todd Pratt. We had a lot of good, backup catchers in this city. What's up, Little G? Good morning to you, and go Birds. So let's get with the Eagles here a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about Vic Fangio and the things he was very openly speaking about yesterday in his press conference. Excuse me. And again, the Nakobe Dean information is just a tip of the iceberg on what Vic Fangio was talking about. And when we get into the things he talked about Cooper Dejean, about Bryce Huff, about Brandon Graham, he has no problem speaking his mind about telling the truth. Look, if we go back to the beginning of camp, Vic Fangio called out Nakobe Dean, put Nakobe Dean on the spot and said, you got to earn it. You got to fight for it. You got to work for it. And it's translated into Nakobe Dean. Was Nakobe Dean perfect on Friday night in Brazil? No. He made some mistakes. He got beat downfield in coverage a few times. But he was active. He was energetic. He made plays along the line of scrimmage. And it was a massive improvement from what it was previously at linebacker. I'm trying to read notes here. I see you when I go off on a tangent, when I go off on a monologue, I can make that eye contact. But when I'm trying to read my notes, I gotta look. Maybe I should just put my notebook up here like this, get something to hold it up so I can pretend like I'm looking. Is that what I need to do? Oh my goodness gracious. Anyway, Vic Fangio's, it's kind of surprising in this day and age, and this is not to go off on a side tangent, in this day and age that the players are actually responding so well to a Vic Fangio style coach. A lot of softer coaching goes on in the NFL and in all sports right now. You got to hold their hand. You got to baby them through things. Vic Fangio says, you want to play? You got to earn it. Nakobe Dean earned it. On the flip side, he was asked multiple times throughout his press conference about Bryce Huff and the snap numbers he got compared to Nolan Smith, compared to Brandon Graham, who had more first down snaps on the edge than Nolan Smith or Bryce Huff. And he said, Bryce Huff has to be better. And somebody followed up in it, well, what does he got to do? And Vic Fangio didn't separate or say, he didn't hesitate when he said Bryce Huff needs to separate himself from all the others. Just blatantly calling them out. Just blatantly saying it. Now, we'll see if Bryce Huff responds to that like Nakobe Dean did. Nakobe Dean responded to those criticisms, and now is the starting Mike linebacker on this team. Beat out a former All-Pro, Devin White. Now, I do want to talk Devin White a little bit and what to do with him, but we'll get to that in a second. What is up, Davey? How you doing this morning? Shannon Sharp earned it. Am I right? I mean, I think I kind of know what happened to Shannon Sharp, but I haven't seen it or heard it, so to say. Did he just kind of accidentally record the audio of a little ugly bumping going on? Poor guy. I saw him apologizing on Twitter this morning, like in a video, so I don't know the whole details. Nakobe needs to stay healthy, and this is the thing. I've seen so many Eagles media members, ESP, one of them, a couple others, bringing up what you do with Devin White now. And everyone's saying you cut. Somebody already did the research, Kwan, saying, well, you lose $1 million in cap space if you cut him. You gain $1 million in cap space if you trade him. Why are we talking about getting rid of Devin White after one good week in Nakobe Dean? Nakobe Dean has, and I agree, earned the starting role. But Nakobe Dean is not a guy that stays healthy. We're not ready the Eagles aren't ready to put Jeremiah Trotter Jr. out there in key moments. So for the people saying you need to move on from Devin White now, do we not remember the last 600 years of Eagles linebacker problems? You keep Devin White. Doesn't seem you need him on special teams. You keep Devin White on the roster. Hell, you can make him inactive every game that he's not going to start. But when Nakobe Dean goes down, if Nakobe Dean goes down, but when, because it's more likely the when than the if, you have Devin White healthy, fresh legs, knows the system, ready to jump in and boom, fill in. If Nakobe Dean hits a rough patch of play, you've got Devin White there, the veteran presence, to ease in and give Nakobe Dean a blow. There is no positivity to getting rid of Devin White at this point. UNC trying to beat the rumors? Well, I don't understand. Dude signed for a lot of money, being called out as part of the job. You know, on the Bryce Huff conversation, you know, I did see somebody else on the media talk about this, and they said, did Howie, look, I'm a Howie Roseman guy. I hype up Howie Roseman, but I've been questioning the Bryce Huff signing since it happened. Did Howie Roseman make a $51 million or whatever, was it $51, $57 million mistake there? Maybe. The guy could potentially be just a one-hit wonder. If he can't beat out Brandon Graham, if he can't beat out Nolan Smith for snaps, that's a problem. There are a bunch of guys, a bunch of media and content creators all over social media yesterday saying, time to move on from Devin White because he's a wasted roster spot because Nakobe Dean's won it. I'm pretty sure ESP was one of them. I'm not sure. I was responding to a bunch of ESP things yesterday, so I can't remember which ones were which. But there are people out there in the content creating world that say he's a wasted, roster spot now since Dean's locked in. Problem is, Nakobe Dean doesn't stay locked in because he gets hurt every single year. We could go back to his college days. Part of his fall to the third round was because of his size. Part of it was because of injury concerns. So you cannot move on from Devin White, not at all, no way. Mark is Huff a bust. Is Huff a bust? That's what I'm kind of talking about. He might be a bust. He very well might be. Might be a one-hit wonder. It wasn't his first rodeo last year, and he had this breakout year. We gave him a lot of money. What's up, Mr. Bruce Bryce Huffer? How you doing today? I will forever be mad at Nakobe Dean's drop pick 6. Look, it sucks. It really, really sucks. Water sucks. It really, really sucks. Nakobe Dean, his pick 6 sucks. Yeah, something like that. I don't know. I just saw the water sucks thing the other day, so I was just thinking about that. Joe Douglas and Howie did my problem for your timely overachiever trade. Basically, except Nooms, what happened is Son Reddick was on the last year of his deal. We gave Huff a 3-year deal. Now, I don't remember off the top of my head the details. Every NFL contract has an out at some point that you can get out of it. I don't know when the out is on Bryce Huff's contract, but we gave him a 3-year, over $50 million deal. And it could come back to bite us if he can't step up. And look, Vic Fangio ain't pulling any punches. Vic Fangio is calling it as it is. I mean, Vic Fangio clearly said Brandon Graham is not on a charity case farewell tour victory lap around the football. He can still play. So Bryce Huff is going to have to beat out Brandon Graham for snaps. Brandon Graham had the most first down snaps at defensive end for the Eagles in week 1. Just let that sink in. The guy's like 475 years old. I talk a lot about Phillies. I'm just in Eagles mode right now. Happy for Watson or Wilson? Watson. The Phillies game last night, completing the sweep. Another 3 wins against the Rays with the Mets series coming up is massive. Zach Wheeler, another dominant performance, his 15th win of the season. Nick Castellanos, you had to know he was going to hit a home run last night after the night before getting beamed. Also, don't understand why so many people got offended by me making a joke about Harper not wanting to fight on 2 nights ago. It was just a joke. And so many people on Twitter, are you stupid? Do you not realize he doesn't want to get suspended? Well, you want him to take a cold cock somebody from behind? Guys, Guys on Twitter responding to my Bryce Harper comment. Relax. It was a joke. What's wrong with people today in today's day and age? Mitch holds on to anger like this. Yeah. I know. Nooms. I know. Mitch, yeah, exactly. Mitch can never change. But anyway, back to the Eagles defense, back to the Phillies, back to everything that's going on in Philly sports. I do got some customer service story hot takes for the Skip Bayless hot take later on in the show. As the I've stripes ease up, Francis. What? I think there might be some, either I can't read or something's wrong there. I'm not sure what's going on in that comment there. I feel it was a good joke, but also I feel there's some truth in it, as he really didn't look like, yeah, he didn't want to get suspended, basically. Seriously, you know what I mean? The pitcher and the manager were suspended, but he didn't want to get suspended. It was a joke that people just didn't get, and man, everyone else makes sarcastic jokes, and everybody laughs at him. Oh, ease up, Francis, as the movie Stripes. Gotcha. I right over my head there, Mike. Sorry about that. Stripes is actually a great movie, too. The longer Huff plays in this defense, the more comfortable he becomes, the more we'll see production from him. Patience is going to be key. Playing on a proper playing surface could be part of the key. I just want to make sure people realize, I mean, it's not like Bryce Huff had 3-4 years of success before he came here. He had one good season. And he only played 42% of the snaps last year for the Jets, Rick. So, having the expectations for him to be and replace what Hassan Reddick gave us, production, snap percentage, etc., was putting a lot on his plate when he doesn't have the experience to do it. I'm not ready to throw in the towel on Bryce Huff or Nolan Smith yet. But it is something to keep an eye on. Because if Bryce Huff can't in 4 weeks, 5 weeks, start turning a corner, then we might have a problem at defensive end. And if your edge rushers are not getting pressure on the quarterback, then it makes your job of your cornerbacks that much more difficult. That's all I'm saying on it. I'm more excited about the Nakobe Dean situation than scared or concerned about the Bryce Huff. Again, I'm trying to be like you and keep the positivity flowing as much as I can. What's happening, Stevie Fuentes? Some crazy spreads this week in the 1 p.m. slate. I have not looked at them yet. That is tomorrow's job. We'll take a look at the Thursday night football game odds later on in this show for sure. Man, let's post typo-laden messages. Why would you do that? I don't even have a mouse today. So I fixed all my problems from yesterday, but I forgot my new mouse. I left it at the pizza shop counter, so I got to use the little pad thingy here on the laptop, which sucks, and I hate it. So let's not screw with me today. Let's be nice. Can I ask for you to be nice to me today? You could screw with me tomorrow. I'd greatly appreciate it. Yeah, my phone does too. That's what happens when you have a cracked screen and you try to type on it and stuff like that. I'm not the biggest Topper fan, but credit him for giving these other young dudes a chance in the right spots and letting the stars heal. Girardi would have stuffed Ronald Torres down our throats. Yeah. Look, I'm not one to give Topper too much credit, but I'm keeping my mouth shut. We're the best team in baseball. Hopefully, I am wrong, and I can sit in here in October and say, "Thank God the Phillies are in the World Series." I'm just not there yet. When you give a player the bag, you never know what you're going to get. Bradbury is the most recent example. Huff might be the next. Duck, I don't know. Bradbury was at a later part in his career. Huff is still pretty young, right? I mean, he's in his 5th season in the NFL. He's 26, something like that. 27. He's a lot younger than Bradbury was. At least I think he is. I don't know. But yeah, Bradbury got his bag and he hasn't performed. You can say that about Jalen Hurts. I mean, Jalen Hurts' drop-off from 22 to 23 came after he got his bag. Now, I'm not saying Jalen Hurts sucks or anything like James Bradbury did, but you get what I'm saying. Speaking of James Bradbury, makes you think of the secondary. And we spent time yesterday discussing the secondary a little bit and Quinyon Mitchell and what you do with Quinyon Mitchell because he is one of the best guys on this team. And if Isaiah Rodgers comes back or if he doesn't come back, and Vic Fangio has said countless times, he doesn't care about contracts, experience. He's going to put the best players at every position that he has. And Quinyon Mitchell is his best outside cornerback to go opposite of Slay. So what does he do with the slot? Everyone says move Quinyon Mitchell to the slot. You put Isaiah Rodgers outside. That's if Isaiah Rodgers is ready to go. We'll find out today when practice is over and the first practice report comes out. But I see a lot of people on social media, Twitter, etc., talking about just throw Cooper Dejean in there, let him, take his lumps and figure it out. And Vic Fangio kind of contradicts himself a little bit here. He said Cooper Dejean is behind. He's still got a lot of catch-up work to do. So to play in Vic Fangio's defense, you've got to earn it. He hasn't earned it yet. But then he says, I'm always going to play my best players. Well, Cooper Dejean, even behind the 8 ball, is better than Avonte Maddox in the slot. So if Isaiah Rodgers isn't ready to play, what do you do with the slot? Is Keely Ringo going to play the slot? Are you going to put Keely Ringo on the outside and Quinyon in the middle? I don't know. I think there's a serious... My eyes are waiting for that injury report, not for Devin White, but for Isaiah Rodgers just to see there. And then you kind of have to play with it. Vic Fangio's honesty there on Cooper Dejean. Look, Cooper Dejean played 6 snaps, I believe, on Friday night, all in dime formations. I remember reading that. That's not from, up off the top of my head. That's just what I read from one of the many articles I read every day. And that his snap counts will go up, but it'll probably be a little slower than we realize as Vic Fangio gains the confidence in him that he needs to. Greg Cassell had a good breakdown on Nakobe, showing him shooting gaps. Well, just needs to improve. Yeah, look, K1, around the line of scrimmage, Nakobe Dean, I don't want to use the word was elite, but was damn good. It was when he fell back to cover tight ends and running back. He had the big pass breakup or the big hit. I think it was a pass to the running back in the flat there behind the line of scrimmage. Huge, lower the boom, shoulder kind of tackle. A thing that should be, I don't see that getting blown up all over social media as a highlight film. It should be. In fact, I might look for it today, and maybe I'll blow it up today. It's when he falls back into coverage. But Vic Fangio's confidence and Nakobe Dean's work ethic have gotten us to the point where Fangio is confident that he is the best option at Mike linebacker. And I asked, do you agree or disagree with that decision? Just before Devin White even has found out if he's healthy or not, is Nakobe Dean the guy? And I think it would be very hard pressed to find somebody that says they disagree with Nakobe Dean being the starter going forward. Very hard. Hurts seems to be trying to figure out the right scramble versus run versus pass bounce in this offense. Kellen Moore spoke a lot yesterday as well. And on the flip side, where Vic Fangio is completely honest, Kellen Moore gives you kind of like Hurts played really well. The interceptions were outliers. I don't expect it to happen. Completely different way of discussing a player from Kellen Moore to Vic Fangio. Vic Fangio and Kellen Moore, apples to oranges. And I don't know if he's trying to figure out the right scramble versus run versus pass balance. I mean, you got to give him some benefit of the doubt. New offense coordinator, new center, new running back, under center, probably more in week 1 than he was all of last year combined. A lot of changes going on for the Eagles offense and Jalen Hurts. And Jalen Hurts did throw 2 interceptions. But Jalen Hurts did lead 6 scoring drives as well. I almost wish Kellen Moore took a little bit more of that Vic Fangio philosophy. Yeah, Jalen Hurts made some great throws. Compliment sandwich, That's what we used to do back in the compliment sandwich. Yeah, Jalen Hurts made some really great throws. That touchdown pass to Saquon Barkley was an elite throw that very few quarterbacks can make. Those 2 interceptions, he can't do it. He can't play hero ball. He can't do X, Y, and Z. But you know what? He made a great first down run, et cetera, et cetera. That compliments Sandwich a little bit. Nakobe was never a great pass coverage guy down the seam or down the field laterally, and downhill he is usually solid. Exactly. And you know, I was a little critical of Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, Reed Blankenship, but they played pretty solidly. As long as your safeties and your defensive backs and maybe Zach Bond can handle the pass coverage portion of it, then you're fine. Then you don't have a problem. This week against the Falcons is going to be an interesting one because they got 2 safeties on the team that a lot of Eagles Nation always have wanted in Philly. Jesse Bates, who I wanted 2 years ago when he was available, and everybody wanted Justin Simmons, who is there now, and everyone wanted him to be signed to the safety room here in Philly, which obviously after week 1, they wouldn't have neither. Well, Jesse Bates would be starting because we wouldn't have Chauncey, but Simmons wouldn't be starting over Chauncey Gardner-Johnson and Reed. But it'll be interesting to see their safety play compared to the Eagles' safety play this week. Got to put White in on run support. Drew, okay, so all first and second downs. We're going up against the Falcons. Bijan Robinson, they like to run the ball. They like to pass the ball as well. But are you going to go 50-50? Devin White, Nakobe Dean, because I don't think that's the right move. I think you put Nakobe Dean out there 85% of the time, 90% of the time. I actually think in week 1 he played 100. Did he play 100% of the snaps? Pretty damn close to 100%. Maybe Zach Bond played 100% and Nakobe played like 90-some%. Jalen still bails from the pocket too quickly, so frustrated on that second interception. So, K1. When he takes those sacks, everyone says he holds onto the ball too long. But when he doesn't take the sacks and he bails out of the pocket, he's not staying in the pocket long enough. There's got to be a fine line there. And I hate that conversation where he bails too quickly. Because I know PFF graded the Eagles' pass protection as one of the best in the league last week, but that was just a load of hocus pocus bullshit, in my opinion. Jalen Hurts took 2 sacks. He was hit another 5 or 6 times. He was pressured on almost every single pass play. The pass protection wasn't that elite in week 1. Just in my opinion. Look, the second interception is so beyond belief frustrating. I don't know about anybody else. What was the worst? I'm going to just ask this Jalen Hurts question. What was the worst interception? The first one, backed up against his end zone, which led to a field goal, or the one in the end zone when he threw across his body, the second one. The second one frustrates me more and makes me want to criticize Jalen Hurts so much more than the first one. But again, I don't know if he bailed too quickly from the pocket on that play. Was he flushed out of the pocket? But on that interception, there was a clean pocket. Was there? I mean, I guess I've got to go back and rewatch it. Was there a clean pocket while the pocket was clean? Was there an open receiver he could have thrown to, K1? This is where I wish you had access to the show and you could pull up the video and share it on my screen. Like I want to find this video and look at the video, live on the air. I'm not a all 22 guy. I don't pretend to know how to break down film. So I'd have to go find that interception, find the footage, and really break it down. In fact, where's my pen? I'll write it down. Find interception video. Find INT video. And I want to find the Dean video. I want to find those things. So I'll write myself some notes, and I'll try to find it, and I'll have an answer for you. He didn't have to bail on that one. Okay. Again, I'm not sure. That throw cannot happen in that situation any way, shape, or form. And Jalen Hurts is really going to have to learn that with this Eagles offense, with A.J. Brown, with Devontae Smith, with, let's shout out Saquon Barkley, NFL Player of the Week, week 1. You do not need to play hero ball. You do not need to force it. You can live to play another day or another down in the NFL when you have this offense. That's the biggest thing from week 1 that I want to see Jalen Hurts learn. how to understand it's okay to throw it away. It's okay to take, no sack is good, but it's okay to take a sack. It's okay not to force it. There's enough talent on this team that you don't have to do that. Maddox and Blankenship have to work on who is pursuing what on these short passes. They were responsible for 2 very big plays. Maddox was obviously much worse than Reed in week 1 for sure. Hopefully we don't see Avonte Maddox on the field again this week. He had AJ on the seam route. Why? Did he? Okay. And I'm not trying to stick up for AJ or Jalen on this. I haven't rewatched the tape. I've rewatched the pass and where he was on the sideline when he threw it, but I haven't watched it from the beginning of the snap to know that, K1. So I will go look it up, and I will go find out. And you know what? Tomorrow, remind me tomorrow. And if I find it today and I watch it today, and you're right, you know me, I will say you were right. There was an open player on that field. We'll see. O-line, like most of the offense, had rust as none of them played in preseason. Absolutely agree with you on that, Rick. New offense coordinator, slick field, new center, new right guard. Look, I'm going to give credit. I know he fumbled. He botched 2 snaps, but Cam Jurgens played well. I had notes. Maybe they were in my Nick Sirianni notes. Cam, nice plays. Yeah, okay. So he talked a lot about, even Nick Sirianni did the compliment sandwich. He complimented Cam Jurgens on the, make the first block and then, boom, slide off to the second level really well. Then followed up with, but he still got to clean up those snap issues. So they'll get better with that. Mekhi Becton never played a game of right guard in his career. He's probably one of the biggest right guards in football, and he pushed people around so well. So it's a very encouraging week 1. But I still think people got to understand the offensive line wasn't as good as the PFF grades say it was. Defense plays better this week. They played good. Yeah, we gave up 29 points, Drew. Let's be honest. The Packers are supposed to be a pretty elite offense. So I think considering the offense we went up against, the defense played pretty damn well in week 1. And Atlanta is Atlanta. We know what Atlanta is. Overhyped beyond belief. Not stepping up in the middle of the pocket when there's a clean lane and scrambling laterally instead is the part that drives some people nuts with Hurts. And I think that's a fair way to describe it. If you could step up and fire downfield, great. He does slide to the right or left more than sliding forward. Maybe that's just way he's more comfortable to get out of the pressure. He also slid around the pocket a few times to avoid sacks. There was 1 or 2 plays I remember where he made defensive guys miss sacks and was able to move forward and extend a play. So for every bad pocket moment, there's a good pocket moment. If AD doesn't slip, I disagree, Ted. I don't think he would have been able to catch that if he doesn't slip. He might have been able to break it up. Like he did that slant route that the defensive back, jumped the route there and was almost a pick 6 on Jalen Hurts. AJ Brown might not have had a touchdown on that, Ted. I don't think that was clear or obvious. But what I do think is that it wouldn't have been picked off. AJ Brown, if he didn't slip, would have been able to get there and at least break it up at the point of contact. And then who knows? Maybe he does catch it or not. I don't know. Who knows what happens? I think we're going to go off on Atlanta Monday. The Atlanta does look great, and their offense is a mess. Yeah, look. I tried to talk about it a lot, why everybody was so hyped with the Falcons. I left the Falcons in first place in my preseason predictions, but almost because I felt like I was forced to, if that makes sense, because everybody was doing it. I felt like I didn't feel like dealing with the drama of me not picking them to win the division, if that makes sense. But Kirk Cousins is Kirk Cousins. He's the most paid average quarterback of all time. Bijan Robinson, sure, he's a good talent. Kyle Pitts has got talent, but maybe not. Drake London's okay. It's good. Team's not that great. If no one is open, the quarterback has to throw the wide receiver open. Most routes are completed within 2 or 3 seconds. If Jalen has to throw it by then, he can throw it away or scramble. I think that's fair. I do like your throw the receiver open comment, part of it. Hurts with motion. He got the ball out in under 2.3 seconds. No motion. I went over the notes. I got them here somewhere. Hold on. I got to go a couple pages back. Jalen Hurts with motion was 15 of 21, 212 yards, 2 touchdowns. without motion. He was 5 of 13 for 66 yards and 2 interceptions. They ran motion on 66% of the plays, the most they've run in a game since 2020. Last year, they averaged 35% pre-snap motion. I almost think that 66% is going to go up for sure. You know what's not going to go up? You guys know? You guys know what's not going to go up? The prices at sherrytickets.com. They have the best prices there are. The price you see is the price you pay. Whether you need sports tickets, concert tickets, theater tickets, go to the best family-owned and operated since 1946 sherrytickets.com. And check this out. If you use promo code EOP10 at checkout, it saves you an additional 10% off the already great prices. So why would you overpay with the rest? Save with the best. Sherrytickets.com. Again, promo code EOP10. Back to the comments here. Got to point a big positive with Hurts was he was great against the blitz. Look, I got those stats here, Drew. We went over this on, I think it was Monday's or Tuesday's show. I forget. What day is today? Today's Thursday? I think it was Tuesday's show that I went over these numbers. Hurts in 2023 against the blitz was 61.5% completion, 6 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. In week 1, Drew, he completed 75% of his passes against the blitz, 1 of his touchdown passes, and a 151.6 quarterback rating against the blitz. So, yeah, he played great against the blitz, for sure. What Tom Brady did when no one was open was throw the ball where no one can catch it, but it's close enough not to be intentional grounding. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm worried about us knocking Cousins out of the game and Penix comes in and shredding us. Our defensive ends would have to get to Kirk Cousins first. And obviously they're not very good at doing that, K1. So that's the first concern there. They actually got to get home to be able to do that. Just so you know. Oh, my God. Philly, what's up, my man? Philly, TP. Newest member. I caught some of your stuff yesterday with Brace, my man. If Nakobe stays healthy, I can't see him losing his position. But I do see White getting plenty of situational snaps. I think you're saying it exactly right. To the people on social media, the content creators, Drew. I'm still looking at the other name on my screen. Joe. There's content creators and media people saying you cut or you trade Devin White and you get something out of it because you're wasting a roster spot. No. White will be out there situationally, and White is there for depth because Nakobe Dean hasn't stayed healthy. If he stays healthy, he's not going to lose the job. But the question is, how long will he stay healthy for? So it's his job. He's not going to lose it. The only thing that'll lose it is if he gets hurt. So you keep Devin White around. You keep him fresh. You keep him in the flow by giving him some situational snaps so he gets a little feel for playing. And then when that inevitable Nakobe Dean injury happens for a game, for a couple of weeks, you got Devin White ready to step in. And Devin White for 2 or 3 weeks filling in is better than trying to run Devin White out there every single week. Hurts was great in the pocket. Hey, Rick, I went over those. Everybody make me go back to my Jalen Hurts stats today. In the pocket. He was the 5th best quarterback in the pocket in week 1, 116 quarterback rating. Not too shabby. Cousins in prime time is a joke. Yeah, I regret predicting the Falcons winning week 2 so bad. I know I'm going to predict an Eagles win on Monday when I do my predictions live on this show from Mexico. Yes, Monday and Tuesday. Next week, there will be some scheduling changes because we're going to be coming live from Mexico. I'll be in Cancun for my anniversary from Saturday to Wednesday. So, some changes coming next week to the show. Temporary. We're going to go a little. I'm not going to wake my ass up at 6 a.m. on vacation. So, might be a little later start time next week for a couple of those shows. Tom Brady was so brilliant at playing quarterback. He knew what defense was in before the snap. That's 20 plus. Yeah, but he was a terrible announcer. I'm not going to give up on him. I'm going to let him get a little. We're going to give some guys time. I guess we got to give Tom Brady time. But Tom Brady was really damn bad week 1 as an announcer. Somebody on that D-line got to win a one-on-one battle when Carter is double-teamed or Jordan Davis is double-teamed. Look, I think we talked about this a little bit yesterday, Drew, on the show. I think Vic Fangio's biggest challenge right now is figuring out the snap distribution. Hold on, I'll get back to this in a second. There will not be any Matty B next week. Guaranteed. There's one show that somebody's going to fill in the day I'm flying home. I can't do a show. But I already know who it is. It isn't Matty B. Just so you know. Just so you know. Back to Drew's comments. I think what you have to do is really figure out how to distribute the snaps because Jalen Carter kind of burned out a little bit by the end of the game. His candle wasn't burning as bright. The last rose petal was falling off. And he played 75% of snaps, where Moro Ojomo played like 13 or 14 snaps. There's got to be a better balance on the defensive line so Carter, Davis are fresh as can be for the last drives of the game. What's the over-under on the notebook reach? What? What do you mean, the notebook reach? I don't get that one. That joke went over. We're up to like 4 to 5 already. I don't understand what you're saying. Yeah, no, I already put that up there. Yes, no. That's right. K1, we up early. Yeah. We're up to like 4 to 5 already. With so low energy, even the coffee couldn't keep me awake. He is not going to be the Wednesday fill-in. It's going to be a returning fill-in, but it's not going to be Matty B. And I think you guys like the guy that last filled in for me. I think we'll see more sacks from the defensive line since the field is different. Josh, I think the field definitely played some form of a factor. But if we don't get the sacks against Kirk Cousins, then we have to start talking about the defensive ends and the edge rushers. We'll have to see, though. If you played quarterback, how many plays do you think you could memorize? An NFL playbook has hundreds of plays. Dude, there ain't no way I'm memorizing a single play. Dude, that shit is – I was a street ball quarterback, not a real quarterback. I could throw a football, but this brain would never have functioned in a high school level offense. Yeah. Well, don't thank me. Thank Big Al. I just when I need a day off, I just text Big Al in advance, and he tells me who it is. Sometimes he doesn't even tell me who it is. It's all Big Al. If you don't like a guest fill-in host, don't blame me. On EOP Live on Wednesday nights, you can kill Big Al for it on his show. That's it. Or any of the Phillies post-game shows. You tickle me, Phil. I don't tickle you. I can't tickle you through the screen. I can't reach you. The camera's way back there. I'm not actually tickling you. Is amazing, but in the morning, I don't watch I try to tune in, give them the comment, give them the like, to give them the algorithm. But by the time a Phillies game is over, I'm packing it in for the night already. So I don't really stay up to watch it. The defense was in an energy deficit within the first 5 minutes of the game. By the fourth, they were digging deep. Yeah, and that's on Jalen Hurts, and that's on the offense. 2 very short fields, the interception, and then the fumbled snap, giving the Falcons. If anything, Duck, it's extra flowers that we're not giving enough to the defense. Because that defense digging deep on the first 2 drives and giving and holding the Packers offense to field goals. This supposed scary Packers offense to field goals on those 2 drives. You got to give them a round of applause for that. We could have easily been in a 14-0 hole, but instead we were in a 6-0 hole. And then Jalen Hurts was able to get that touchdown and get the lead back. So maybe some of the fourth quarter struggles, the snap distribution that I'm talking about, etc., had more to do with the offensive struggles early in the game and less to do with the defensive rotations, etc., etc. Cooper Dejean should have had more snaps in the slot. Look, I think he might get a few more. He played 6 snaps in dime defense, Drew. Vic Fangio yesterday did speak about Cooper Dejean and said he is still behind. He's still playing catch-up. Now, Vic Fangio does say he's always going to play his best 11 players for every situation. If Isaiah Rodgers isn't healthy, even a behind-the-8-ball Cooper Dejean in the slot might be better than Avonte Maddox. So maybe you see more of him. I say by the time week 6, because week 5's the bye, by the time week 6 is here, if everybody is healthy, I would fully expect 100% of the nickel formations to be Slay, Mitchell, Dejean. By that point, I'd be shocked if everyone's healthy and that's not by the 5th game in week 6. Always something, Mitchie Poo. Always something. He is something, all right. That's not Deebs. Deebs works for a school district, so um, he only when school's out can Deebs work. So you tickle me too, Mitchie. Oh my god. Yeah, Big Al, you gotta take the hate, man. The morning crew is not a Matty B fan. They like his post game work, but his morning work, you got to bring the energy in the morning. Nobody's awake. I'm not awake. I'm still on my first cup of espresso. Oh man, brings the passion, win or lose. In the morning, though, I'd rather watch Jalen throw picks in consecutive drives. Oh man, when do the Sixers go to Bahamas for training camp? I believe it's October 1st to the 5th or October 2nd to the 6th. On a side note, bringing up the Sixers here, Marshawn, did you guys see the new City Edition jerseys? They're basically bringing back the Spectrum jerseys, but making them white. I know everyone wanted the old Iverson black jerseys back. I think they're next year's. Going to be next year's alternates or City Editions. I love the Spectrum jerseys, the blue one. I still have a Harden. Unfortunately, it's a Harden, so I can't really rock it right now. And I do like the white Spectrum ones as well. I love the Spectrum design jerseys. I don't know if they were accidentally leaked. The Sixers gave one to, it was Pearl Jam to wear on stage at a concert this past week, and then it got leaked. So, our Edge of Philly is trading Deebs, Matty B, and 2 draft picks for Mike Missinelli. Oh, Al, do you want to comment on this rumor that DJ Mista is just randomly floating 2 draft picks? At least I'm not getting traded away. Mista and cash considerations, yeah. Always got to throw in the cash considerations, right? If Roger isn't back this week, Maddox will be much better as slot corner this week. Why, are you going to buy into the theory that he spent entirety of camp as a safety and he wasn't really in the flow of that position? I mean, there might be something to that. He is a veteran. He's played a lot of football when not injured. Deebs, look, he's not a history teacher. As long as Big Sills isn't involved in that trade, Big Sills just needs to go out to pasture and never come back. The white Spectrums. You like the white Spectrums? Because I do. They could have made the Spectrums white, red, blue, yellow. They could have made them any color, and I would have loved them. I love the Spectrum, and I like the colors going down the sides. I think they're fire jerseys. I wouldn't make them City Editions. I would have brought the blues back and just made them part of the regular rotation of jerseys and had a different City Edition. I'm sick of all the neg and flip-flopping. Look, sometimes it's not flip-flopping. Sometimes it's just living in the moment. Where am I at? I like the Sixers Classic Edition in the bubble year. Those white ones were great. They couldn't have. Which ones were they? They were white. Were they the ones that said Phila in cursive on it? The only ones I didn't like were the ones that had Boathouse Row on it. Because if you look at it quick glance from a distance and you don't know what you're looking at, it looked like Chinese lettering on it. I just thought it was a confusing image. They were the ones that were worse. The gray ones. I didn't like the gray ones either. But for the most part, most of the Sixers jerseys they've done are pretty good. Marshall, Big Mikey Miss will be doing sit-ups in his driveway if he doesn't get a new contract. Is that right? I don't think Mike Missinelli could complete, and you can quote me on this. You can call his show and tell him. You can quote me. I don't think Mike Missinelli could do 10 sit-ups. All right? I don't think he could do 5 sit-ups, maybe. I bet you I could do more sit-ups. I can't do a sit-up. And I could do probably more sit-ups than Mikey Miss. Just going to say that. Maddox has made the same mistakes last year. He's turned into a Jalen Mills. Jalen Mills is still a pretty solid player in the NFL. He's transitioned to safety very well. Maddox is a solid player in the past. He was going to be a safety depth piece this year. Wasn't prepared to play slot. We will see. 12 likes is not good enough, Mitchie Poo. Guys, make sure you're hitting that like button. You're watching Trending in the AM right here on Edge of Philly Sports. Please like, share, subscribe, follow, retweet. Do it all on all platforms. I greatly appreciate it. It's free. If you're watching right now, it is free for you to click that thumbs up button. It's free for you to hit that subscribe button. It doesn't cost you a thing to do that. So please, I greatly appreciate that. Google the Classic Edition jerseys, Phil. They were amazing. Yeah, I'm not going to do it middle of the show. More like mad, don't. Not trying to mess anything up. Yeah. Sorry, I'm slurring my words a little. I'm not drunk. I'm not drunk this morning. I swear to you, I'm as sober as could be. I've slurred more than just that one time this morning. I don't know what's up. Don't know what's up with it this morning. If it's not the computer acting up, it's my mouth acting up. I'm actually really excited for the Sixers this season with no Tobias Harris. We're about 2-3 weeks away from needing like 2-hour shows every day. Because we got the Sixers season starting. Training camp in less than a month. The Phillies playoffs start in like 3 weeks. The Flyers, the rookie camp, I think, starts this week. Eagles getting into the season. This is a special time in sports. Sixers roster had more turnovers than Jalen Hurts. See, we're making. I did not know we were going to be talking Sixers this morning on this show. I didn't know the Sixers would even remotely get brought up in this show today. So that's kind of shocking right there. Kind of shocking how much Sixers talk is going on this morning. You guys are surprised. Sometimes you guys surprise me with where the conversation goes. You do. But you know what's not surprising? PhillySportsTrips.com. They are the premier #1 place to visit. PhillySportsTrips.com. You go to it. If you want to travel to see your favorite Philadelphia sports team on the road or go to one of their excellent tailgates in South Philly, you go to their website. You sign up. You mention Edge of Philly Sports and Trending in the AM. Great takeover trip of Baltimore here in Tampa, in September. October 20th, the Eagles head up to MetLife Stadium. It's Saquon Barkley's return home to New York. You got the bus trip to Baltimore in December. And, of course, Dallas week, takeover at Dallas. We're going to march to Dallas. We're going to cheer on our Eagles as they whoop some Cowboy ass and win that game on November 10th. And we're going to all go back and watch Yellowstone Season 5 premiere, guys. They also taking deposits for Philly spring training. This might be over now. Yeah, September 14th. This is like in 2 days. The ultimate Miami trip. So I can take that one off the list, guys. PhillySportsTrips.com. Don't miss it, and make sure you mention EOP at sign up, guys. Widener University is a school for big backs. What? I don't even understand what that means. Widener University is a great school. I rep it as soon as I can, or as often as I can. It is Clearwater. I really want to go to Clearwater this year. I really do. I don't know if I'll be able to. But I would love to go down to Clearwater this year. If you haven't gone to Clearwater to see spring training before, I thoroughly enjoy Clearwater Beach, an amazing town. There's a reason why it's voted year in and year out the #1 beach town in America. It's fantastic. Fantastic. And then, go stay down on the beach, take an Uber back and forth to the stadium, going to see a game at the Philly Spring Training Complex where the Clearwater Thrashers play. It's an amazing experience. Every seat in the house is amazing. It's cheap. It's a great experience. A school for fat kids. Why is that? Where did that come from? I don't even know where that joke comes from. Like, I've never heard that before. I was going to ask how you do 90-minute shows in October. Well, this time last year, I was still doing a 60-minute show. So we've expanded it to 90 minutes. I don't know if I've got 2 hours in my system or not. I don't know if I can hang for 2 hours. But if the likes get up, if the show grows, if more people find it, if more people subscribe and follow, then maybe 2 hours is on the agenda soon. I could do 2 hours today if I wanted to. Could. I got other things to do. I want the 1990s Dana Barros jersey. Dana Barros. There's a name I haven't heard. If you're going to say Dana Barros, I'm going to throw out Hershey Hawkins as well. The snipers of the early 90s Sixers, early and mid-90s Sixers, the pre-Iverson era Sixers, the snipers we had. Dana Barros, man. Didn't he win or finish like in second in a 3-point contest one year? Wide. No. Okay. So you're trying to make a joke because it's wide in the. Come on. I expect so much better than that from you, Marshawn. That's not even funny. That is so. I'm just going to say it. That's weak. That is probably one of the weakest jokes if that's where you're going with that joke, that's weak. I expect such a higher level quality from you on the jokes there. Same thing with you. You getting into it. See, now K1 is. See, now that's what I expect from Marshawn and you guys. Jokes like that. That is what I expect. not what I got, you know? You expect better from the I expect better. I expect you guys to embarrass yourself much better than that. Or I expect you guys to go much deeper. That's what she said. Than that. That joke was weak, like Jalen in blitz defense, except he wasn't. Let me go back to my notes again. Those numbers again against the blitz. 75% completion, 151.6 quarterback rating in week 1. Second best against the blitz outside of Baker Mayfield in week 1. Just going to say it. Just throwing it out there. Something else I wrote down in my notes here for today. I see a lot of Eagles content creators and Eagles social media people. I say it all over. Everybody wants the Eagles to call up Joe Douglas and try to bring Haason Reddick back, especially after Vic Fangio so blatantly, criticizing Bryce Huff yesterday. It exasperated the rumors of people wanting, or the commentary wanting, Haason Reddick back. Guys, anybody that wants or thinks or is even considering the conversation of Haason Reddick back in Midnight Green is so far off base. There is a 0.0000% chance Haason Reddick would be back or traded for or anything. He is New York Jets' problem. He is going to stay New York Jets' problem. And eventually, at some point, it will give. And they'll figure it out. He will not sit out the entirety of the year. At least most likely he will not. Something will give up there in New York. You don't want him back here because, yes, just like Doug says, allegedly a locker room cancer as well. Allegedly something to do with a woman and another player as well. I'm not going to reveal my source on that one. There's some kind of lady girl drama in the locker room, and Haason Reddick was at the center of it. Just going to say. He's also a stat chaser. Maybe that was part of the problem last year on the defense. Just say, but even if he wasn't a locker room cancer, Howie Roseman already balked at paying him. Why would he bring him back and pay him? It just doesn't make sense. Their jokes were better than Kyle Lowry. I'm not ready to make Kyle Lowry jokes yet. I just am not. Kyle Lowry will turn into this year's Tobias Harris, but I'm not ready. If we talk Sixers at all on this show right now, it's got to stay to the positive end of the Sixers conversation. Sorry, that's just my opinion. So there's no need to bring Haason Reddick back. There's just not. There's just two of the dumbest things that were floating around Eagles Nation, content creators, media, Haason Reddick, and cutting Devin White. Like, why, like, after week 1, why would we already be trying to trade for Haason Reddick? And why would we already trying to get rid of Devin White? After 1 week, after 1 game. It doesn't make sense. My source might be custodial, engineer, or medical staff, or equipment guys. You got a source too. So I got a source from somebody who had a source inside the locker room. So I'm getting mine secondhand, but my source isn't a player or anything like that. But there was a little lovers quarrel issue in the locker room. I'm more concerned about safety than the linebacker room. What are you? See, I'm more concerned about defensive end. And I know the surface played a factor, but the fact that Brandon Graham is the best defensive end or edge rusher on the team right now, it's not a knock on Brandon Graham. It's just he's not supposed to be. I mean, Brandon Graham last year played something like 20-some% of the snaps most games. He played the most out of the edge rushers on Friday night. And again, Vic Fangio said he could still play. This is not a charity farewell tour. This isn't a victory lap for Brandon Graham. He's here to play and contribute. But when Brandon Graham's your best guy at getting after the quarterback, that's a problem. That is not what you want to hear. So I am concerned with the position, but I'm not ready to go out and crack the locker room by bringing Haason Reddick back or making some big trade or something like that. I'm just waiting. I'm waiting and seeing. The bye after the 4th game this year is critical for this team to pivot with all the new moving pieces. They're going to use that bye to evaluate where they're at. Maybe make some trades. Maybe make some adjustments to reinforce what they've been learning. I don't like the early bye because when injuries pile up at the end of the season, you want the later bye to rest guys up. But in the Eagles' current situation, the early bye probably makes the most sense. Just like it makes sense If you need a lawyer in the state of Pennsylvania, you call the best. David R. Cherry, the Cherry Law Firm. He will fight for you and get you what you need. Workers' compensation, motor vehicle accidents, personal injury, criminal law. Call David R. Cherry, 610-565-0300, or go to cherryinjurylaw.com. Again, he will fight for you. He will get you what you deserve. Maybe my employee needs it. One of my employees didn't show up last night to work. And I heard this morning from one of my other employees that he may or may not have gotten arrested yesterday. So if he did, he would call David R. Cherry of the Cherry Law Firm. Again, that number, 610-565-0300. Go to cherryinjurylaw.com. Again, David R. Cherry, he is the best in the state of Pennsylvania. That's right. I think we hit the over there again. I'm trying to help Mist. Mist is losing a little too much money, so I'm trying to help you out a little bit there and hit the over on that one. I think we'll be getting to the quarterback more this week in Atlanta. Now, this is something I got to do more research on, Duck. I'm just starring all these cherry bombs. I don't need to put them all up there. I have read conflicting reports on conflicting stats with Kirk Cousins' week 1 performance against Pittsburgh. I've heard and read that he averaged the I don't know how to phrase it, how many steps back in the drop, like his 3-step drop, get rid of the ball, that he was the quickest to get rid of the ball. I've read that in some forms or some publications. I've also read that he got pressured and didn't perform against the blitz, the worst out of it. Like, I mean, I'm hearing different reports on what went on in Atlanta. And I tried to watch some of the game in week 1. Really hard to focus on it because it was just such a bad game. My biggest concern will be with the Falcons defense, with Jesse Bates and Justin Simmons, and how much they're ball hawks, and Jalen Hurts tends to make some mistakes from time to time. So I'm concerned about that. But I believe we should be able to get after him. If we don't get after Kirk Cousins regularly, and if we don't get multiple sacks on him, that's a concern. Because Kirk Cousins is like a statue back there. Kirk Cousins has 2 bricks for feet. But they also do run a very, at least in theory, what the little I saw in week 1, very quick. 1, 2, 3, boom. 1, 2, 3, boom. Dump offs to Bijan Robinson. Dump offs to Kyle Pitts. I think Drake London only had a couple catches in week 1. I mean, he's their deep threat, but he can't actually get down the field because Kirk Cousins can't stand back there long enough. On on YouTube, NFL has the game highlights. Those will tell you everything. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out. But from what I've read, I'm getting different stories on what Kirk Cousins' performance was like. It was not good. They lost. I think they only put up 10 points. But on the flip side of the equation, I'm also hearing some things that aren't conducive to our defensive ends being able to get home. If they couldn't get home on Jordan Love, how are they going to get home on Kirk Cousins if he's getting rid of the ball in I think I read somewhere he got rid of the ball in 2.8 seconds per play, which is pretty quick. I'm looking for a big blowout on Monday. The Falcons are not a good team. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to take it off. Working with a new mouse here today. I am thinking a blowout as well. Barbara, on Monday when I make my prediction in Brazil, that's when we'll, or in Brazil, when on Monday when I make my prediction in Cancun, that is when, we'll find out what the final score is. But I've seen some really good predictions floating around in that 33-20, 31-21 range. On a side note, this is the 3rd year in a row going to Mexico that the Eagles play in a primetime game, and the 3rd year in a row it's Kirk Cousins when I'm in Mexico. Like, what are the odds that I travel out of country and I don't have to find an illegal stream of the Eagles game? They're on primetime 3 years in a row, the same week I go. Kirk about to have all day against our pass rush. We stink. Well, that's a negative Nancy Bryan right there. Come on. The pass rush did not get home. Brian, do we stink? I don't know. If Kirk Cousins will have all day to throw, then we know our pass rush stinks. I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt to everybody. Hell, I would be giving, if I'm a Packers fan and we lost, I'd be giving the Packers players benefit of the doubt. The whole Brazil experience, I give it a benefit of the doubt. Week 2 will explain a lot more on the teams. It's a push. I landed on the spread. Okay. Well, a push is better than losing, right? DJ. Losing, you don't want to lose. So, Bert, good morning to you. Salute to the Core 12. Phil, I'm surprised you don't have the Red Zone channel. I don't. I'm not one of those guys or people that have 4 TVs set up. I'm this year's my first year with YouTube TV. And I know you can put like 4 screens on YouTube TV and watch 4 different games at once. I can't do that. I can't focus on multiple things. And Red Zone, and they keep bouncing around. I need to get in the flow of the game when I'm watching it. I want to watch one game. And I want to get into that game. You know, even the what do they call it on the NFL Network when they're just firing through highlights and recaps and scoring drives, not the Red Zone, the other thing. Like, I don't feel like I'm actually getting in the flow of any games. Like, I need to be focused on one thing. I hate the split screens. I don't do multiple TVs. Like, sometimes if an Eagles game and an important Phillies game is on, sure, I'll have the Eagles game on the TV or the Phillies game and I'll have the other game on my laptop. But I'm a one TV, one game at a time person. My confidence is down the Eagles because of Jalen Hurts. Why? I guess those 6 scoring drives he led weren't good enough. The 34 points against a really good defense, not good enough. Look, does he need to be better? Absolutely. But in every statistical category in week 1, he was in the top 5, some of top 2, statistically. He was one of the best quarterbacks in week 1 of the NFL season. And there's no argument there. The stats back it up. Coupon sucks. Chill out, fam. Coupons? I'm a huge coupon fan. Why are coupons bad? Are you rich, K1? I know what you're talking about. But you're going to call me out for splending in the AM. I'm going to call you out for coupon suck. All right? Just so you know. If you got to give it, if you give it, you got to take it. That's what she said. Cousins did cook us the last time we played him, just saying. Last year, we beat him, right? Didn't we win week 2? Thought we did. Maybe. Nothing wrong. Hey, look, I don't have a very, I lose focus. If you watched yesterday's show, the mic went in the middle of the show. I lost focus like that. Like, I hear my dogs barking upstairs. I've lost focus now because I can hear the lawnmower. I guess the landscaper showed up a little earlier than normal. Like, so it's so easy for me to be distracted. So watching 4 football games at once or going Red Zone, it just distracts me too much. Falcons do not have Justin Jefferson. They got Drake London and Bijan Robinson. Needs to be way better. 6 turnover-worthy plays is crazy. He had 3 turnovers. Yes, he had some other plays. I get it. Also, coupons still hurt. You're just going to double down on the coupons? You're just going to keep going with the coupons? I saved myself yesterday at the food store like $14 on coupons. And it's so much easier now that with the Giant app, you just digital coupon them. You don't even have to carry or cut the coupons, okay? It's all digital now. So don't be making fun of coupon cutters. In this day and age, you've got to save wherever you can. Coupon, not coupon. Coupon. It's not coupon. It's coupon. Just like it's water. Clear water. Okay? There's my accent coming out. I'm confident the Eagles, Jalen will get more comfortable in the offense, and he'll become more efficient because of it. Absolutely. What else? Coupon. Oh, my God. Yeah, we beat them last year because we ran all over that Vikings defense. Exactly. And look, Saquon Barkley. Again, I made a joke. So I new thing, if you're on Spotify or Apple iTunes, check out the Eagles Pin Pull Podcast Network. Shane Half, Johnny Page, they've started it. They brought me on. I'm doing a 10-minute or less podcast that drops every morning, like 4 a.m. I think they're dropping. I recorded at night. Just some news, notes, and opinions on the Eagles. Check it out. I lost my train of thought there. I don't even know what I was going to say. I was saying, I made a joke on it today on today's show that Saquon Barkley won Player of the Week last week. Obviously, Offensive Player of the Week. Rightfully so, deservedly so. Over-under for the bettors out there. If I put the over-under at 3.5 Offensive Player of the Week awards for Saquon Barkley, does he hit the over? That's bold. 4 out of 18 weeks. That's a lot. Can Saquon Barkley win Offensive Player of the Week 4 times this year? I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. I need better than even money, though. I'm going to get to that in a minute. I've got 3 that I could do. Pizza shop. They're all customer service pizza shop related. We were winning 28-0 before Cousins scored a bit against the prevent defense. That's right. I do now remember that now that you say that because I was smashed at the bar in Cancun last year for it. Hot take. It's called No, You're Wrong. I might have to change my hot take to coupon. Nobody besides Mahomes just wakes up all over team. Yeah, absolutely agree with you on that. Steelers ran it all over Atlanta's defense over the weekend. Saquon Barkley might be player of the week 2 weeks in a row, right? I'm not an Apple girl. We can find Spotify then. I'm not an Apple girl either. I'm not an Apple boy or an Apple girl. It's like when people say nuclear war instead of nuclear. Oh my God. We're getting technical with the pronunciations of words here today. I don't get it. All right, let's do it. Let's do this right now. All right. I got 3 of them. Customer service tales and stories from being a pizza shop owner. So my Skip Payless hot take of the day, annoying ass customers, okay? First and foremost, first phone call I take yesterday. Lady calls, running an event at the school. She needs to feed 80 kids, and she needs 4 large hoagie trays. All right, a large hoagie tray is $110. Feeds 25 people, okay? So over $400 worth of food. I don't know if you know anything about the restaurant business. Lunch meat is not expensive. So I tell her we do them, this, that, and the third. And she's like, well, you're not going to charge me for them, right? Because it is for a school. You're going to donate them for me. I'm like, hold on a second. First off, you're not a customer of mine. You're not in my system. 2, you're not going to ask me if I could donate something. You're telling me I'm going to donate 4 large hoagie trays. And 3, when I say no, you get mad, you cuss, and you hang up the phone on me. In what world do you expect a restaurant to donate 4 large, 100 hoagies to feed 100 people for free? Not offer anything. First off, I know your organization. I know your organization has plenty of money and pays for stuff all the time. Why would you do that? In what world is it okay for you to demand free food and not 1 free pizza? We're talking 4 large hoagie trays. In what world is that okay? Okay? It's not okay. Okay? So that pissed me off. The second story annoyed me. Okay? What annoys me is when you dine in. So we had these customers come in yesterday. They ordered a large pizza. They dined in. But they wanted it in a box because they said they were going to take it to go. And they take the box and they sit down at the table and they eat almost the entire pizza there. So we wasted that box basically because we could have put it on a dine-in tray and they could have whatever. All right. You wasted the box. But you had 1 slice left. And then what they did was they're like, can I get a smaller box for this last slice? So now I'm giving you a second box. We transfer it. Nice guy that I am. Sure, no problem. Here's a second box. We transfer the slice to the second box. Then they eat the slice while they continue to talk. So now I've thrown out 2 boxes that could have been on paper plates or on dining pans, whatever. You're stupid, wasting your money. God damn it, people. What is wrong with you? And thirdly, this client of mine, he always asks for miracles to happen. 200 cheesesteaks in 3 hours, 90 pizzas in 2 hours, whatever. I can't do it anymore. I don't have the staffing or ability to pull off miracles in short periods of time. Last week he called. I'm like, dude, from now on, I need 24 hours notice. And you know, if you're going to need 250 cheesesteaks, you know the day before. I need 24 hours notice. I got a text message from him at 3:15 yesterday. Yo, was that 24 hours notice message just for last week? Or does it still apply today? It applies always. You cannot ask for me to pull off in 2 hours 250 cheesesteaks. You just can't. There's 0 chance. Plus, I was taking care of another event, a back-to-school night at elementary school. So even if I could, I couldn't. Customers have been driving me nuts lately. I want to have Skip Payless hot takes that are sports-related, not Skip Payless hot takes that are customer service-related. But on every day, I can literally do a 30-minute podcast every day about my interactions with customers. I just can. I wouldn't say ran all over a lot of Justin Fields scrambles. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, which kind of conducive for Jalen Hurts. Hot take time. Yes, let me see what we got. Restroom is for paying customers. Oh, I hate that. There's a travel agency that's in an office above my pizza shop, and they have a bathroom up there, but they won't let their customers use it. They send all their customers down to use our bathroom instead. It annoys the living hell out of me. Deshaun Watson is the happy ending bandit. America's Most Wanted. I can't believe that we're seeing that story pop up again. Since when is lunch meat cheap anymore? It's not. That's what I'm saying. Like the cost of roast beef. I cut roast beef off my menu, K1. I keep a little bit of sliced frozen in the back just in case I need it, which I hate freezing lunch meat, but it is what it is. Like roast beef is like $15 a pound, even on the on the restaurant like bulk level. Imagine what it's like $17 a pound at a food store. I can't do it. I pay almost $8 a pound for turkey. Ham's only like $4.50 a pound, but still, like seriously. And you expect me to give away 4 large hoagie trays? Sucks. I hate to turn my show into a restaurant rant, but man, double boxer annoys me. Wasting pizza boxes. When I opened 16 and a half years ago, a large pizza box cost me about 25 cents each. With the logo on it and all, they're up to 53 cents a piece now. Doesn't sound like a lot, but when you sell hundreds of pizzas, 53 cents a box is a lot. Yeah, rant Phil. It's more annoyed Phil today than rant. Double boxer is almost as bad as a double dipper. It's worse. It's worse. You take a dip, you take a bite, and then you take another dip. I'm in Thailand trying to figure out if I'm going to get a massage or go to a live Muay Thai event. Hey, I don't know if you're joking. If you're really in Thailand, that's pretty hilarious and pretty awesome. That would be a pretty cool trip. Double boxers are a plague upon society. Oh, my God. I don't think you guys understand how annoying the double boxing thing is, actually. Remember on Seinfeld? Absolutely. It was a great episode of Seinfeld. Rant Phil, it was more of a annoyed Phil, but okay. It's because people are so spoiled. They take the customers always right to an extreme. It doesn't mean you get to be a jerk. I deal with it. You know, Duck, I've wanted to say so many times to customers, you wouldn't dare walk into a Walmart and act like that. You wouldn't go into the McDonald's and act like that. Customers that come in and just tell me, well, I don't want to pay that. That price is too high. Don't you have a special? Or the people that ask what your specials are, and you tell them, well, that's not what I want. I want a medium pepperoni, 2 cheesesteaks, and 8 wings. Don't you have a special on that? I'm at the point where I'm just going to raise all my prices a flat 10%. And when somebody says, do you have a special? Say, yeah, we're offering 10% off of everything now. I might just do that just for shits and giggles, just to piss people off. No, hope you don't use Boar's Head. No, I heard all about the Boar's Head situation. That's crazy. That is. The customer is a pain in it. The customer is. I need the customers to pay my bills. I need more customers so I can do more of this. Or I need you guys to pay me more so I can just do this. But, you know, I've gotten to the point now, 17 years almost in business, I have no problem telling a customer no. I wasn't always like that, but I do. And I have no problem telling a customer, your business is no longer welcomed here. DNW is my favorite. Deaton Watson, gotcha. Love you guys. Good to go. Hey, I appreciate you, my man. Yup, they're all local and delicious. Look, I just got so annoyed with that lady getting mad at me when she told me I was donating her the food, not asking. First off, if you ask a business to donate food, you better be a supporter of that business first. This lady didn't call wherever she gets her pizza from or her hoagies from to donate because she knows it's almost an impossible ask. I wasn't even going to offer the way she acted. I wasn't even going to offer a discount. Screw that. If you're going to be a bitch to me, I'm going to be a bitch right back to you. That's just the way it is in this day and age now. But yeah, that I had to deal with those 3 customers yesterday and an employee not show up. And I'm getting a message now from my employee that it might have been drug related. Anyway, yeah. Owning a business ain't all it's cracked up to be. The double box. I'll take Kyle Lowry as the starting point guard playing 40 minutes a game before the double boxer. So the double boxer cost me money. I ain't betting the Sixers, so, you know, Kyle Lowry ain't going to cost me money, Mitchie Poo. It's all about the bottom dollar. Hence why I don't make fun of coupons on this show, K1. So I'm a coupon cutter. I spend, baby. That's a Seinfeld line. But I'm cheap also. Because people are entitled and they feel like I remember once I got into an argument with a customer. They wanted me to donate like 80 pizzas to an event. And I said, no, I gave them a great price. And they said, well, think about it. And it was for a PTO from one school. And then somebody else that was a friend of mine that also was on the PTO said, why did they ask for it for free? There's $18,000 in the reserve for these type of events. They just didn't want to spend it. They're probably trying to siphon that money off for themselves. Customer, yeah. No, I don't need no David Archeri to deal with my customers. I don't. But what I do need, because of my customers, is to head on over to Dolan's Bar for a drink after working sometimes. Dolan's Bar, and check out this new fire graphic made up by somebody on EOP. Dolan's Bar in Ridley Park for 65 plus years. The quintessential Irish American dive bar in Delaware County. DolansBar.com, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Check them out. When you go in there, tell PJ that EOP and trending, not trending in the AM sent you this picture. I want that burger. I want that burger. Now, the wings look pretty good as well. I'm not an eat wing in public person because I'm too sloppy, but check them out. Dolan's Bar, when you go in, make sure you mention us so that they know you're hearing about them right there. Also, guys, make sure you're hitting that like and subscribe button. 7-day week of programming. What's coming up later today on Edge of Philly Sports? Football Stories Live. Birds Blast. Fly Like an Eagle with Mitchie Poo. Go tune in to Mitchie Poo at 7:15. Love me some Mitchie Poo. Not really. That came out wrong. Phillies versus Marlins post-game show. No, this isn't old. Did I not update this? They don't play the Marlins tonight. Is there a makeup Marlins game today? I think they just made a mistake. There's no Phillies game today. They're off today. They start the Mets series tomorrow. Big Al, what's up? There's a Marlins. Did no one catch the Marlins thing tonight? I'm pretty sure there's no Marlins. But anyway, 7-day week of programming right here on Edge of Philly Sports. Everybody give Al a hard time for that graphic right there. That woman seems like, that's just everybody. Every customer wants something for free. 16 and 25, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions in that hot Atlanta game, more like cold turkey. Yup. That burger did look good. I love a good burger. It is Thursday. I'm not off tonight. I got to work late. But the Victory by the Victory Brewery by my restaurant does $6 burger nights on Thursdays. They have a burger of the month, and that's all that you're allowed. And I don't know what the September burger is yet. The August burger was this like caprese burger, had basil, balsamic, fresh mozzarella on it. Oh, so good. So good. And it was $6. Smash burger. We talked about the other day, just sarcastic. Nobody really commented. Are you a drum or a flats wing guy? I think the bigger question, the bigger trend in the food industry are smash burgers. And would you prefer a big, thick, juicy burger or a double smash burger with toppings on it? I've become quite partial to the smash burgers. I love a good smash burger. And you get that nice little crisp on the bottom of it, put a lot of toppings on it. Give me a smash burger over a thick, juicy burger anytime now. Because also, you don't have to worry about the cooks screwing it up and making it too rare or too well done. It just comes out one way, and that's it. Guys, I do want to end this show today with one more serious thing. And I want to apologize. Yesterday, I was thrown off by the camera issue, the mic issue. Very easy for me to be distracted and sidetracked. But I wanted to make a comment yesterday, and I kind of lost focus, and I didn't do it. Yesterday was 9/11, and I didn't get to bring that up and address that. And just the thoughts that go through my head every year on 9/11. So I just wanted to apologize for not bringing that up first and foremost yesterday. But I want to make sure everybody knows that I do know it was 9/11. I do know the significance of the day and how meaningful it is to everybody, whether they were directly involved or directly knew anybody involved or not. The emotions that ran through everybody in this country's day. And all the problems we have. Customers at my pizza shop. This show. Everything. 9/11 and scenarios like that put everything in perspective for you. And it really does. And it's the only time in our country's last 30 years that we were all united. And you watched the debate 2 nights ago and how divided we are because of it. But then you think about how 9/11 brought, why I don't want 9/11 to happen again. That's not what I'm saying. But I want our country to be united like that again. I don't want things like that to happen. I don't want our country to be in the situation it is. But I just want to put that out there. The September burger special is a cheeseburger with pork roll on it. Are you talking about the Victory Burger of the Month? Do you know the Victory Burger of the Month? And a pork roll on it with pork roll on it. All right. I don't know when I got another Thursday. I don't even know if I have a Thursday off this month. Damn. I got to get in there for one of those if it's a pork roll on a burger. The Victory Smash Burgers are fantastic. We use sports to forget about our real problems. I agree. But the way the world is, we kind of are at a point where, how do I say this? That we become so divided that, like, Marshawn and I, we battle a little bit, but we do it, politely. You go through my Twitter page and see the way people talk to me about opinions. And we're just so divided that we're not allowed to have opinions on things. think about being a business owner is rough. Being an employee is worse. That's not necessarily true. If you've got a good boss, mister, being an employee is not a bad thing. I've worked for bad people, and I've worked for great people before. I like to think that I treat my employees pretty damn well. I let my employees, I try to take every bad thing that I ever saw a boss do to me and do the complete opposite. And still, by being that nice boss, they walk all over me on a regular basis. It is what it is. I don't know if being an employee is always worse. If being an employee is worse, it means your boss isn't a good boss. That's all that means, in my opinion. Guys, what did we talk about today? We talked about Nakobe Dean, the starter. Locked in, 100%. I think there's a pretty much 100% agreement that it's the right decision. We talked more about the defense. We talked about Vic Fangio. We talked about Kellen Moore. We didn't touch on Kellen Moore did say, all right, there's two things on Kellen Moore. All right, two things I want to find. We only got 5 minutes left, but I'm gonna mention these two things. He did mention the tush push, and it will remain part of the offense moving forward. And he mentions the wet field conditions or the slippery field conditions on the reason why it was unsuccessful in game 1 on Friday night in Brazil. So I don't know if we're pro or con that, but he did mention that. He was awfully fired up about Johnny Wilson in his press conference. He only played 10 snaps. He had 1 target on basically a throwaway. But he was just so positive about Johnny Wilson. And he mentioned that Johnny Wilson's role will continue to expand week to week. And I was kind of shocked by that. What does that say about John Dotson? If Johnny Wilson's going to get more snaps, John Dotson didn't do anything in week 1. I mean, just learning the offense. I was just kind of surprised about how hyped up Kellen Moore was on Johnny Wilson. So there were 2 things that he mentioned that I didn't get to bring up on the show. What will we talk about tomorrow? Well, we'll see what happens at practice today. We'll see who returns from the injured list. We'll see if anybody's on the injured list that we don't expect. Dotson was out there a lot. He was out there a lot. He was. He just wasn't getting targets. Johnny Wilson was out there for 10 plays, and Kellen Moore's talking about giving him more plays. I know you need a blocking tight or blocking wide receiver, but by the way, did anybody see that Jack Stoll got cut again from the practice squad? Appreciate you, Barbara. Always appreciate it. Wilson is J-Jaw and doesn't seem to have any fight in him. But yet Kellen Moore was hyped. And I just don't get it. Like, sure, you like a player, but he didn't really do anything. I think Dotson will get more looks once. Absolutely agree. I do as well. John Dotson is maybe a problem mentally. Like maybe he's got some screws loose, but he's a talented football player. And I don't think there's any doubt about the talent that he has. I just thought it odd that in Kellen Moore's short press conference, he chose to talk and spend minutes talking about Johnny Wilson. I just thought that was weird to me. The tush push is something else. But anyway, tomorrow we will cover the practice today. It's Friday. Oh, I forgot to do it. Hold on. Let me get the spread up for tonight's Thursday night football game. So I can go over that. We'll do the rest of the NFL predictions. It's Bills, Dolphins. Dolphins are a 2.5-point favorite. Let me get my list started. What did I go last week? I think I went 8-7-1 against the spread last week. Not my best effort. I have the notes here somewhere. Yeah, 8-7-1 against the spread last week. Bills, Dolphins, minus 2.5. It's in Buffalo. It's going to be 87. No rain. I'm going to take the Bills in the points. I'm going to go Bills outright. Win tonight. I like the Bills. I think the Bills are a good team. TMC hasn't been around, but I'm going to tell you, I think the Bills are going to surprise you this year. I got the Bills winning tonight. Covering the 2.5 points, but winning outright, in my opinion. I guess more like Kitty players versus Tiger players. Maybe. You think Wilson might be one of Moore's picks? I think it's interesting. With a lot of the players that were talked about yesterday, you could tell which ones were Fangio and Moore picks and which ones were Howie picks. The guys that get negative talked about, Bryce Huff, the Howie pick, not a Fangio guy. Wilson and Dejean and Nakobe, they're Fangio guys. It's interesting. Just going to throw that out there. I would take the points on the Thursday game. Absolutely. Home teams win most of the time on Thursday Night Football. I will say that. But I like the Buffalo Bills in the game there. But they say he could block very well. So there's that. So we'll go over all the games in the NFL tomorrow. We don't have to predict the keys to victory for an Eagles game. So we'll talk Eagles. Maybe we'll preview the Phillies series with the Mets. We'll talk all the NFL games this upcoming weekend. We'll pick them all against the spread. Who knows what else will come up? You never know. That is what we do here. We go with the flow every single day here on this channel. Guys, please like, subscribe, follow, retweet. Find the Eagles Pullpin Network with Johnny Page and Shane Haff doing stuff on there as well now on top of all this. Guys, have a great Thursday. Go Birds. Ring the bell. Bubbles up to you.